Welcome to Imaginary Lands, the works of award-winning author and storyteller Bobby Pell. Today's selection is a tale of sibling rivalry at its worst, based on the Scottish ballad The Twa Sisters. In this story of jealousy and betrayal, true love ultimately triumphs, even over death.
Once upon a time, a very long time ago, there lived a king. This king had two daughters. The eldest, her name was Helen. She was lovely, and she was betrothed to William. Now he had shown her his love by giving her his ring and his glove. Many preparations for the wedding had been made, but upon one such meeting he met Helen's younger sister. He had never seen her before. He was so taken in by her beauty. She had long flaxen hair that reached down past her waist. She had milky white skin and cheeks that looked as if they'd been kissed by the sun. But not only was she beautiful, but she was kind of heart. He knew that when he saw her, she had to be his. He fell madly in love with her, and in doing so, broke off the engagement to Helen. Now at first, this hurt Helen deeply. But then that hurt turned into anger, and that anger festered in her heart into jealousy. And when ugly things make their way into the heart, ugly actions follow. I must think of a way to get rid of her. What can I do? She can't do this to me. He was mine, I tell you. He was mine. I'll have to get rid of her somehow. I'm the eldest. I'm the one to be married first. What can I do? Oh, what can I do? And she thought until finally, I have a plan. It will be perfect, and no one will ever know I was involved. The next morning, she asked her sister, Sister, shall we not go down by the bonny banks of the Binnorie River and watch as our father's ships come in from the sea? Her sister readily agreed, and they went. Now there was a large flat stone that was right above the raging waters of the Binnorie River. The younger sister stepped upon that stone and began looking out to sea, watching for her father's ships. All of a sudden, Helen came up from behind her, grabbed her sister around the small of the waist, and plunged her into the raging waters, knowing full well that her sister could not swim. Helen, give me your hand and I'll give you half of all my lands. I'll have all your lands, she said, when you lie inside the Binnorie waters, completely dead. But sister, give me your glove and I'll give you back William, your own true love. I'll have William, and no glove of mine shall touch a hair on your head as you lie beneath the waters, completely dead. And with that, Helen turned and went to the castle. Sister! Was the last words that the young woman ever spoke. Her body floated and sank and floated and sank until it simply floated on the water. Now the Binnorie River ran down to the local miller's house, and his young daughter was out getting water for the noonday meal. As she looked upstream, she cried out to her father, Father, stop the wheel, for I see something coming towards us. It looks like a merry maid swimming, or perhaps a white swan. Father, stop the wheel. And so he did. When the body of the young princess got close enough to them, he stepped into the water, and the miller pulled her from her watery grave and stretched her out upon the ground. She wore a long white dress that reached down to her lily-white ankles. She had pearls strewn all in her golden hair, and she wore a girdle of gold. They did not know her. Now as they stood there, looking at her, wondering what to do, a minstrel came passing through. He saw this curious group, and he stood there, looking at this poor, drowned woman. He knew he had never seen such beauty, even in death. He traveled for miles away from that place, and yet every night he found his dreams haunted by her face, as if her beauty had been etched upon his mind. And after months of traveling, he found himself coming back to that very same region, to that very same spot where he had seen her lay. The miller and his daughter had not buried her, and all that remained of her now were her bones, bleached white by the sun, and her long flaxen hair. Well, the harper took her breastbone, and he broke it, and he made a rude harp. Then he took her hair, and he spun it, and he strung this rude harp. And with his old harp under one arm, and the new harp under the other, he made his way to the castle. When he got to the castle, there was tremendous feasting, for they always loved it when a minstrel would come through. But after dinner, the minstrel pulled out his old harp, and he began to sing. He sang songs of war, songs of love, songs of peace and romance. But after many hours, he then took out the new harp, and he laid it right in the very center of the room where all could see it. And to their amazement, the harp itself began to sing. And this is what it said. He laid the harp upon a stone, bow down, and there it began to play alone. Binnorie, oh Binnorie. And I'll be true to my true love, if my love be true to me. Oh, yonder sits my father king, bow down, and yonder sits my mother queen, Binnorie, oh Binnorie. And yonder stands my brother Hugh, and with him my William, sweet and true. And I'll be true to my true love, if my love be true to me. Bow down, Binnorie, oh Binnorie. But the last tune that the harp played then was woe to my sister, false Helen. And I'll be true to my true love, if my love be true to me. And with the final note, the harp broke into 1,000 pieces. Helen rose from her chair, staring ahead of her as if the ghostly specter of her sister were making its way towards her. She began clutching her throat as if icy fingers were taking the very life from her. And before her family could reach her, she fell to the floor, cold, stone, dead. So the next time jealousy weaves its way into your heart, beware. For true love will always win, even if it reaches out from the grave.